I recently reorganized my tools into an everyday carry set for finished carpentry and the door work that I do. It's the on-site woodworking, and it requires a lot of different work. I just got finished up a door job, so I figured we could go through. We can go through, if I can get it. Oh, that's a mess. We can go through what I bring on an everyday carry sort of setup for all of my tools for mostly door work, but this also encompasses finished carpentry, on-site woodworking, and as a craftsman, this is what I carry along. So I figure let's go over to the job trailer and take a look at what we got over here. Let's go. Oh, this trailer is getting out of control. It needs a good day of organizing, but instead, I'm making content for you. Got a pad. I want to set up my phone so I can show you the tools up close as a second angle. All right, I think we finally have it set up. Recording. All right, guys. Let's talk about some tools. Let's talk about the tools that I bring on site every day. We'll just get into it, I guess. So these are the tools that I bring on site every day. I'm a professional carpenter and woodworker that specializes in historic and classic doors, but I also do other specialty projects. So this is my daily, everyday carry tool bag. I recently got this set up again. I was working out of some different boxes and tool rolls, but I've gone back to this open carry tote, I guess is what you'd call it. This one is made by Craftsman. It's been fine. It's a little tippy when you're going around corners, so I make sure I've got stuff packed around it, but I've yet to dump everything out. So I do not wear regular tool bags. I know some guys wear tool vests. I have gone to this little Joey pouch, is what they call it, from Holstery. This little thing, basically, it reminded me of a climbing chalk bag, and I grew up rock climbing, and I just love this open single pouch concept, and I think it's Kevlar on the inside. It's been incredibly durable, and I have really enjoyed it. So I just clip one of these on to my belt for when I need to carry tools around, and in here, my normal tools are a pry bar. This one's stainless steel, which is great for down here in the south on the coast. Pretty necessary because my other steel ones have rusted. So I've got a pry bar here. 6-inch maybe. Next tool that I use just about every day is this Woodpeckers Paolini pocket rule. And I use it in conjunction with this more affordable chinois ruler. And I often use one for like a plane going off of a wall or something, and then I can use the other one to come over from another plane and match up exactly where it is, use it as a depth against a plane so I can get into a hole spanning across 2 points and really get an accurate measurement. So I keep 2 rulers. One is 6-inch, one is 7 inches, although they call it a 6-inch. It does have a stop, the Woodpeckers one. This is a stop gauge that you can use for setting depths, for scribing lines, similar to a square like this, combo square. So these 2 rulers are some of my most used tools, and never thought that would have been the case when I grew up doing more rough carpentry, framing, things of that nature. What else do we have in here? Speaking of measuring and marking tools, Starrett 6-inch combination square, 45 square. It's got a level in here, so you can actually use it for leveling small items, both going plumb in this direction and square in that direction. It's very comfortable. It's incredibly smooth. I have had other combination squares, not nearly as smooth as this Starrett. Moving on. I keep 2 blades in here. Both are made by Olfa. Both are snap-offs because I love having a sharp point for doing detailed work. I often use it for scribing and doing cuts that need to be accurate. So being able to snap these off, you just get it out to the snap line and push down on a hard surface. I'm not going to do that because this one's fresh. And I use this one for more marking, where if I need to square a line and use a chisel, I will mark it with a marking knife and whatever measuring marking utensil I'm using. I know some people have specialty marking knives, and I just carry that one because I can sharpen it if I hit a nail. And in the field, I hit nails. These old doors, they have a lot of weather stripping on them that were sprung bronze, and that was fastened with these little brass screw nails. And, well, there's hundreds of them in some of these doors, and I often will mess up a chisel or a knife, so there you go. Eraser, because I do also use pencils. Not on here. Did I put it in my pocket? Did I grab it? What's that? Nope. Nope. Thought I had grabbed it, but I guess I had not. So I like these Pica pencils for general marking because they're big, fat mechanical pencils. This one has a white soapstone lead in it for writing on dark surfaces. I don't know where this one is. And I have a third one that I was going to bring out, but I did not. And last but not least, what's in here, besides a broken screw, is 12-inch Stanley tape measure. Small, compact. Most of the work I do does not require anything more than 12 feet. So it's convenient, it is small, and this little Joey pouch is what it all goes in. Moving on to this here satchel. It's quite heavy because I have put quite a few tools in here. So we're going to try to run through this fairly quickly so this video is not 3 hours long, because that's what it would end up being. Number 1, wood glue. I'm a carpenter, obviously. I like Titebond 3. I also will keep Titebond 2 with me. They're both waterproof. I believe they are both food safe. I'm pretty sure about that. So wood glue. Wood glue is always in there. This is going to get messy with all these tools. I did not make enough room to spread out. All right, wood glue, number 1. Number 2, tape. Always keep some blue tape with me or some sort of painter's tape. I'm taping shims onto things. I am masking off things, keeping glue from getting on stuff. Just painter's tape is something, it's another set of hands too. So I always keep painter's tape on me. Speaking of painter's tools, a painter's tool, 5-in-1, 9-in-1, I don't know what these are called, but there's a whole, this part's made for scraping out a paint roller. Pointy part you can set nails with, use it as a pry bar. I'll kind of get behind bent over nails with this. I'll tap it in with a hammer because this flat part, I will, that's a good striking point. It's a scraper. I do not keep it very sharp, so it's a general scraper. It's got a bottle opener, so if you like to drink beer while you're working, it's got that too. This little teardrop part is actually a surprisingly effective nail puller. You can stick the nail head through there and pry up, and it actually works pretty well. There's a screwdriver set in there that I've never used, and the back end is actually, it's metal, so you can use it as a hammer. giant screwdriver. Big flathead screwdriver. I'm working on old classic doors with a lot of big flathead screws. This guy is essential. It's also a pry bar and good for opening paint cans. In that same pouch, we've got an ice pick, also known as an awl, although awls are usually wood-handled and often shorter, but an ice pick works just as well. You can scribe lines with it. I mostly will use it to either start a hole so I can put a drill bit on there centered in a hole. So I'll use this to make a little center indentation, and then the drill bit will sit in that indentation and center in the hole that I'm drilling. So, for screw holes, for hinges, things like that. Also, you can take it and set it in some wood like that, put a string line and bring it over to wherever you're going. So it's also another set of hands. Getting a theme here, right? Another set of hands when you only have two. Things to help leverage yourself is good. Oh, very important. Hearing protection. That is also music. These are ISO tunes. These are old ones. They're wired. Never used the new ones. These work great, and they don't send a Bluetooth signal from your ear through your brain to the other ear. So although I do still use some of those, such as these here, Bose Sports. I got them for running. I don't run. I use them for work when I'm not doing noisy stuff. Thing I don't like is there's two of them. So I'll set one down and I won't be able to find it. And they're black, so I can't find them either. So I like these guys. And they're actually they're actually hearing protection, unlike noise canceling headphones, which are not hearing protection. They work in a way where I think it gives the opposite wave signal, and that counteracts it, but I think all that wave signal is still in there doing what it does. Moving along, essentials. Rubber mallet. I use a rubber mallet more than a hammer 90% of the time. It's rare that I'll pull out the hammer. I actually often leave it in the truck because I've got other things to pull nails, such as a cat's paw. More of a framing tool, but when you're getting in there into some of these old jams, there are some old nails you got to pull out. Great pry bar, effective tool, pointy, gets into places where some of the other, this pry bar does not. Let's see, where do we go next? One of my favorite tools is the Wera ratcheting screwdriver. It has built-in bits, which I've switched out with some of the ones that I use on a more regular basis. It's got a really clean action, and it has outlasted some of my buddies' Milwaukee's by quite some time, and he's also purchased this. Another favorite tool. Yep, the Knipex, however you say it, you crazy Germans. Ach du Lieben. We've got these pliers. They are amazing. They're one of my favorites. They've got some really neat features, such as when you put it on let's find something square. Yeah, when you put it on something, open it up, easy open. Push the button, slide it to where you need it. When you push down on one handle, it's locked in. The jaw doesn't open. That is an incredible function, and it really allows you to work on it without worrying about your grip strength. So the Knipex is amazing, and it is this and a regular set of not channel locks, but adjustable C. What's that called? I'm drawing a blank on that one, but this and another wrench, but usually just this one in the box. Let's see, talking about blades, another Olfa. I do like the Olfas. This one is the giant one, much more durable, heavy duty, and locks into place. Same thing, snap off blades. It's just a heavier duty one for heavier duty tasks. Sticking with the same brand, the Olfa pocket saw, Japanese style pull saw. When it comes to doing a quick cut, it's a pretty fine blade as well. It does pretty nice cutting. This thing, it's nice because it keeps the blade protected and locked in. It's incredibly convenient when you have to do, I mean, obviously you're not cutting a whole bunch of 2x4s with it, but if you need to make a couple of cuts on some smaller material, that's the go-to. Much better than going down to grab a jigsaw or a Japanese saw that doesn't fit in here. This one, we'll go back to marking and measuring because this is one of my favorite marking and measuring tools. The Starrett gauged imperial, so it's got 16ths, 8ths. Actually, it goes down to 32nds and 64ths even. So these things measure in multiple ways. If you've never used one, obviously, you pinch things there, and it tells you that my finger is a 1/2 inch strong. This goes between gaps and measuring things that you cannot get a tape measure or ruler into, just under 11/16. And most people don't know that there is 2 more ways, and one is the bottom that comes out is also another way to measure like a hole depth. So you can stick this into, let's just say you are mortising out something for a deadbolt, and that's got to go in a certain distance, and you can't fit a ruler in there, you can't fit your tape measure in there. So you use this, and you'll stick this part in, rest that against the edge, and then you can read your measurement. This thing is great. There's more affordable options out there, but being somebody that values accuracy in the work that I do, this is the one I go with. There's plenty others, though, that are good. And actually, the digital ones have a function which is handy if you do work in both metric and imperial, because you can get your measurement and hit the button to change it from imperial to metric, and then you can get your conversion without having to do it up here or via calculator. Marking and measuring, 8-inch ruler too, just in case. I love these folding rules in place of a tape measure in times, because this part sits very flat along the surface, so it's nice to mark. And using the other end, it has a gauge where you can bring it farther in, so you can set it between 2 spots, extend this, and take this over to your piece of wood that you're going to cut, lay it down and actually mark both ends, and then you're taking out all that room for error when it comes to transferring marks, trying to remember the actual numbers and fractions. Let's see. Okay, these, when I learned about these, I was blown away at how handy they were. They are setup blocks. They are different measurements, starting at 1/16, going all the way up to 3 inches. And these, when you're trying to find spacing, trying to figure out, the spacing between 2 objects, you can just slide this in between, and that is a great way. You can put them together and stack. So, you've got a 16th and a 32nd here, and then you have 5 32nds when you put them together. Double check with the calipers. The 1, 2, 3 block, some of them, 1, 2, 3 blocks in machine shops, they will have holes in them, and they are used to clamp to things. And there's a lot of uses. There's whole videos on that. This, besides using as just a measurement block, I will use as a square. So I'll put it up in a, like if I need to get a line off of a jamb, I will use this because I have two flat surfaces where this square over here, you know, if I am in a corner and I stick this against a wall, this is out by at least a 1/4 inch. Is it a 1/4 inch? Just under a 1/4 inch away from the wall. So to get a accurate line against material when your reference surface, you know, you're getting what I'm saying, right? So use something like this. There are flat squares also, but this kit is quite handy, and I carry two because if you want to space an item such as a, let's say like a cabinet door off of, or a cabinet drawer off of a cabinet door, and your spacing is 3/32, you can take two of these, put them on each side, set your material down on top, and Bob's your uncle. Obviously, you can do this with material you cut down from pieces of hardwood, and you can make your own setup block set. But how long will that take? And these things are quite affordable. And they'll all be linked down below. Moving on. Couple of cheap chisels, but I keep them sharp, so they still work. They just don't stay sharp as long, especially because I'm running them into nails and such. So it also makes them easier to sharpen because the steel is not as hard as high quality chisels, like my good ones, which I don't have, but we won't call that an everyday carry because that's the everyday carry. Speaking of sharp objects, a little baby hand plane, block plane. This thing is great for knocking down edges. This one is made by Bridge City Toolworks. This one actually has these depth stops, so you could set it at using the setup blocks, a perfect 1/4 inch, and those legs come down a 1/4 inch, and whatever material you have, as long as it's thin, that you're running through there, you'll stop planing it at, well, obviously, a 1/4 inch. Never used them, hasn't come in handy, but this little guy, super handy. I have a bigger one that is less of an everyday carry, but it still is, I'll still put it in the EDC category because this Lee Nielsen Toolworks, talk about a nice piece of equipment. This thing is solid. This thing is full cast, where that's aluminum. This thing just feels like a beast. I mean, if you hit somebody over the head with this, it's game over. The neat thing is that the blade goes all the way up to the edge. So when I'm working in a jam, I can actually get this all the way up to the very edge. It works great with doing tenons, cleaning up anything where you just have to get right up to the edge. Another low angle block plane, rabbiting block plane? Can't remember what they call it, but love this thing. It's definitely a step up in quality and, well, no, I don't know. I want to say quality because this thing is still really nice. I mean, it's crafted incredibly well. It's beautiful. I mean, it's a piece of art almost. All of their stuff is, but it's aluminum. It's less durable. But the lightness of it makes it much easier just to throw into your pocket, into a tool bag, and have a way to knock down edges without sandpaper. It's a nicer look, I feel. I feel like it's a slightly more natural look, or at least a more traditional look. Either way, keep going through the tools. 5-in-1, 7-in-1, 9, whatever they call it, screwdriver with all the different bits and bobs in there, hexes, handy to have so you don't have to pull out screw guns. And this is my little bit kit. Incredibly compact. Wire. I believe this is a Lowe's product, but it's got my driver in there, all the bits. Even picked up this extra wide, fatty, flat, traditional bit that I searched high and low for to work with these traditional screw heads. And yeah, finally found one. Not as big as that screwdriver, but it's great. Compact, easy. I keep two 12-volt Bosch drivers. Well, one's some impact, one is a drill. I actually have two drills, one impact, and one installer's kit, which has multiple heads on it, where you can get right up next to an edge to drive a screw, and a 90-degree. Very handy, but I don't bring it everywhere because I don't do cabinets, and that's mostly what that's for. Couple of clamps, smaller, lightweight Bessie clamps, small F-style, and the Festool F-style clamp that works with the miter saw back there as a hold down. They're great for some instances. They are less than great for others. You know, they've going into dog holes like this on their bench. You can clamp things, and that's handy. I also picked up because, yeah, why not try out all the new brand loyalty, blah, blah, blah. So, you know, we could talk about this in another video, but these green Kool-Aid tools, they're starting to feel more and more like toys, and a little too overcomplicated for what we're actually trying to do as craftspeople. That's another video. But these, I needed some quick clamps, and they came out with these new ones that switch around that you can use with your Festool rail saw, and that part slides into the rail saw, clamps it down. That's what I was sold on. Have I used that in that manner? No, because I have my other Festool clamps that go into the rail saw that are quick ratchet closed, and my thought was for deep material. I know the blade can't get through, obviously, that much, but sometimes I need a cut on top, a cut on bottom, and then use a Japanese saw to get through the middle. Or you're just trying to do a rabbet or dado on the top, and you need to clamp your rail, like if you're using a router on your rail. All different videos to have down the road. What else do we have in the goodie bag? Pair of scissors. Very handy, especially when I'm cutting weather stripping. Nail set. This one, Japanese nail set. I saw somebody on Instagram use it. What was his name? I'll put it here somewhere. But I saw him using this, and I believe it's Shinwa, but it came up on scrolling through Amazon, and here it is. I like it. It's heavy duty, it's big, it's nice. Putty knife, obviously, for puttying and getting into small cracks to start widening it before I can get a pry bar in there. So, small cold chisel also can be used as a wedge. Sometimes you just have to knock down a little bit of concrete off of a place where you're putting a threshold, so I carry a small cold chisel with me. Also a punch for popping out hinges, hinge pins. Also set nails, things like that. This pile's getting big, and that light's turning off, isn't it? I thought that was a fresh battery. Let me go switch out this battery. Oh gosh. Old man Sal. Don't know if this one's charged because the light's broken. Oh, the light's not broken. It is working. All right. Oh, another ruler. 12-inch. Love it. Can't have enough rulers. A angle gauge for using this adjustable bevel. T-bevel, I think. This was my grandfather's. Get an angle with this, and then you can use this to figure out what that angle is for your saw or for math. So 2 tools. There's other types of angle gauges and stuff, but this is great for repetitive cuts or markings and figuring out angles. Let's see, where am I? I'm running out of room, guys. Gonna end up with a pile of pickup sticks. 10-inch level. If I could find a smaller one, I would carry it with me, but I use this for finding out if a threshold is level or not. Obviously, there's plenty of other uses in the trades. This one's magnetic. Small little spring clamp. This guy's tough. If anything, I actually use it mostly to clamp to the top of a work bucket tote and then put a dust extractor hose over it and use that as a hose holder. Dental tools, Craftsman dental tools. Poker, also the same thing as the ice pick, just a smaller version. And this guy's for scraping out kerfs or weather stripping, but I mean, talk about a handy tool. Obviously, it has worn down so much. I've used this more than a lot of things. Let's see. Some small 6-inch drill bits for pre-drilling decking screws. I always pre-drill screws in almost every situation. I said almost in every, that's right. No, every situation, almost all the time. I don't know. What did I just say? Moving on. Oh, we got another ruler. A magnetic thing for picking up screws, although since moving to the coast, I use this less and less, as a lot of the screws here are stainless steel, and this doesn't work on that. Another nail set, smaller, for finish nails. Small paintbrush for, obviously, small touch-up. Also, I will use black paint sometimes behind a door strike if I don't have a dust cup to put in there. That just makes it darker so you don't see the wood grain. Another nail set, spring-loaded, for if I don't have my mallet around. This thing often goes into that joey pouch because the joey pouch has no way of carrying a mallet. And oftentimes, I just don't need a whacking tool. Bit extension. We have a tester, electrical tester, so I can know if I'm going to get shocked or not. Different marking devices, a silver pen for marking on dark things, a white touch-up crayon pencil. This comes in quite handy if I do an oopsie. And we've got multiple number 2 pencils here. The Ticonderoga number 2s, Dixon. I think that's a lot of people's go-to. A couple of Sharpies, big professional ones. And, oh, this guy, love it or hate it out there, it's handy, the Stud Buddy. I know some of you hate it, some of you love it, but for how little stuff I have to do with studs, carrying that with me, I do have a good stud finder, a professional one somewhere, but not within arm's reach, nor is it usually. So that thing in a pinch works out pretty well. A Bosch light with some tape on it. That thing's handy, pretty affordable. And another one of my grandfather's tools, a 12-inch combination square. And you can see the soapstone marks on there. Another use for that soapstone pencil. But this one is an old Stanley. They do not make them like this anymore with that old slot. Pretty unique. And I just love that I am able to use a tool that my grandfather used. Pretty special. He was not a working carpenter or anything, but it's still pretty special. Let's see. This is a brush. Yes, it's a paintbrush, but it is also a work brush. And oh my gosh, this little scraper has been so handy. Little 1-inch triangle carbide blade Blanco. Yep. I got some big ones too for when I'm stripping some paint off windows. Although I've started to use a infrared stripper, and that thing is quite handy. I also carry a wooden wedge. Whether you're trying to drive a board apart, slamming that through it, separating a couple of studs, or just as a doorstop, because I'm a door guy. Need a doorstop. Speaking of door stops, actually, I often use a air shim. That's buried somewhere deep in there, but it has a blood pressure cuff pump on it, and then it expands an airbag, and it can lift hundreds of pounds, and I'll use them underneath the door to do adjusting. What else is in here? Small ratcheting Wera screwdriver, handy, and it does also come with its own bits. And this guy is quite one. It's handy because it fits in the Joey pouch. But I mean, how cute is that? Like, that's ridiculous. It also fits into some very tight spaces. So in a pinch, I'm glad you have it. If I can get this back in, we could continue with the video. They're waiting. Hurry up. Come on, Eric. You got this. Oh, did I break? No? There we go. You got to be SMRT to get it right. Jenga is happening over there. Similar to these setup blocks, flat shims have been quite handy for multiple situations. I still use tapered shims quite often, but sometimes having flat shims. These come in different sizes. I believe I have more in this side pouch. Some paper towels, because that's handy. Oh, almost forgot this was in here. A small 12-inch framing square. Once again, I don't do big stuff. And that thing is quite handy. And you can adjust it. So if it gets out of square, it is steel, and you can... Well, if you've never done that, basically you just take a nail set and you drive it into one of the inside or outside corners, and it expands or contracts the L, and you can adjust it. We'll do a video on that maybe down the road. I keep a Dremel with me almost all the time. It's down there in that bucket, but usually it's here. This is a little set of carbide grinding carving bits, but for making holes bigger, for wallering out things. It works on metal, it works on wood. These things are great. It basically turns the Dremel into a mini die grinder. So these are in here usually. A baby square. You might laugh, but this is quite handy for hardware work, and when you're just doing very small things. Also, you can check if you sharpened your chisel well and if it's square. So look at that. I did a pretty good job. Pencil sharpener, metal. This one is actually pretty darn good. I bought a whole bunch of them and put them everywhere. More Dremel stuff in this mini sustainer. I know, I'm a dork. I bought a mini sustainer. For those of you who hate sustainers in the first place, you probably think this is absolutely ridiculous. I'm also sure there's others out there that think it's great. These little mini hex drill bits, they fit into the installer kit. Has a hex front on one of the bits, and it's great for doing the 90-degree and the drilling right up close to another surface. Those live in here, and they're much smaller than the other stuff that I got down there. I wonder how long have we been filming for? 39 minutes, guys. I wanted to show you another box down here, but I think that's gonna be another video. So let me just finish up with a few more items in here, and then we'll shut this one down. Baby 6-foot tape measure with metric on it. So that's one of my conversion tricks, is this guy. Don't use it too often, but when I need it, it's there. I usually have a 16-inch tape clipped onto this side. I have got this, basically it's a soft shackle that I made out of parachute cord, and I will use that to keep rolls of tape on. Oftentimes random thicknesses of wood that I will use for Dutchmans and patching doors. I keep this mini tripod because if you didn't film it and put it on social media, did you even really do it? But obviously making content and stuff, so this little tripod from Newer is great for that. I also use it all the time just to set up my phone to watch YouTube on. Last couple of items. These little mini guys. This is some small snips that I use for pulling out those small brass nails I was telling you about. Great for pin nails, other things like that. This is, I think they're Craftsman. And I mean, these things are beat up. The spring action is done. The handles are twisted all up. But I took it and I ground down the back so that most of these have a dual bevel and pinch here. So if your nail head's sitting here, it's hard to grab. So bevel this or chop those bevels off, and you end up with a basically a flat surface that you can get all the way up to the neck of the nail against the wood. So these mini pullers have been great. Yeah, I've got a bigger pair for bigger nails, but teeny weeny little Crescent brand needle nose pliers. Similar, I'll start it with that and then I'll grab it with this so the little sharp edge doesn't nip off the nail. So I'll start pulling it with that and then I'll grab it with this and get it the rest of the way out. And that's it. That's it for the everyday carry tote. Thanks for watching, and we'll do video 2 with this here box. All right, see you there.